In the United States alone, the suicide rate amongst men is 4 times higher than that of females. Male deaths represent 79% of suicides, accounting to roughly over 100 men every single day dying by suicide. That's over 36,000 annually. Guys, give me 1 second. Just keep that thought in mind right now. I'm going to head over to my phone, make sure that you guys can hear me on Facebook and that I'm actually truly live and that I'm not talking to just, and I can hear myself. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. So that's a staggering statistic, right? They tell us men to man up. But what they don't tell you is that this mindset is killing us slowly. We're taught to stay quiet, push harder, carry more, and never show what's really truly going on. But that isn't strength, guys. It's killing us slowly. It's basically a slow death. All right, that's what it's doing to us. Men everywhere are burning out, they're breaking down, and they're dying in silence because they think that asking for help makes them look weak. And that's a lot of men that have that mentality. We don't need more men to man up. We need men to step forward into leadership, into honesty, into true grounded masculinity, into what being a man really means, not what our culture is currently teaching us. And that's why we're here today. Throw down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys and stuff like that. Let me know that you're here, you understand this. Say, I'm ready to hear this. I'm ready. That's all I want to see. My name is Michael Acoli. I'm a men's holistic health coach, and that's what I'm speaking about today. Look, I spent 3 months in the ER. I spent 3 months with doctors and doctor's appointments, multiple tests, heart scans, labs, monitors, and every single time the answer was, everything looks fine. There's nothing wrong with you. We don't know what's wrong. Maybe it's just anxiety. Here's a pill. Oh, you have heartburn? Here's a pill. Oh, your back hurts? Here's a pill. They gave me blood pressure medication. I don't have high blood pressure. I was just getting pills thrown on me left and right. I knew something was wrong. I just didn't think it was medical myself. But somehow I got caught up in that fear that the medical system throws at us, and it threw down my throat as well. I knew my body was shutting down, but for what? I wasn't quite sure. So nobody was listening to me, not to my needs, not to my voice. I was unseen, I was unheard. They didn't care. That's what literally it felt like. Not even the people closest to me, my friends, my family, my girlfriend especially. This almost broke us in half. And you know why? Because as men, we're expected to deal with it, to stand up, to push through, to be strong, to move on, to man up, to be a man, whatever that means today, right? Well, there is a definition behind it. Look, we're taught to swallow our pain and carry the weight silently. I want to know that you're still here and that you're listening to this. Let me know, because it's so important that you hear this right now. It's staggering, the statistics, 79% of men that die by suicide every year in the US alone. Look, in those ER rooms, I was laying there and I finally admitted something to myself. I admitted the fact that I was afraid. I was afraid of dying. Now I'm not afraid of death, but I was afraid of dying. Dying because I lived most of my life, I figured out in that moment, for everyone else but myself, trying to please every other person in life, trying to be the man that they wanted me to be. They put all these expectations on me, right? I neglected myself for years. I caused chronic stress to myself where it got to a point where my body couldn't handle it anymore. It broke down. It was literally dying for the responsibilities that other people put on me, for the expectations they put on me. And guess what? I allowed it, but I knew it had to stop. So I want to know that you understand. Just put stop in the comments right now. Just let me know that you're here and that you understand what I'm saying and that you're one of these men. I know you are. Many of us go through this. Look, I wanted more time, not to do life over, because I don't have any regrets. I really don't. And there's a few, maybe. There's a few, right? We all do. But finally, I wanted to do it my way. I wanted to do it the way I was meant to do it, not to please everybody else. In those moments, I went through the fear, the denial, the pleading, the acceptance, and then finally I got to a place where I surrendered. And that was full embodiment surrendered. And I'll get to that, man, because it was amazing what happened. Look, after a few months of being physically ill to the point where I was having trouble walking, getting up out of bed, I felt like a 90-year-old guy that needed a walker, feeling massive amounts of pain all over me, not being able to eat because I had trouble swallowing. My throat was closing up every time I put food down my throat. It was literally squeezing me from the inside out. feeling massive amounts of anxiety, 10,000 times worse than any anxiety that I've ever felt in my life. I mean, any panic attack that I've felt in my life. This was different. 8 to 9 hours straight of anxiety. I lost 45 pounds in 4 months. Not by trying, by the way. And then came that moment where I literally laid there in my bed and I was staring up at the ceiling, and I got to a point where I basically said, you know what? Okay, okay, maybe it's my time. Literally, I thought I was dying. My face was gray. I was expelling so many different types of toxins out of my body. And I just told him, I said, I'm not going to argue with you. If you want me back, I'm not going to plead or beg. Take me back home. That's, I guess, where I need to be right now. But I had this weird feeling. I was just like, you know what I'm talking about right now doesn't resonate, because I just didn't feel like it was my time, that I was truly ready. But I was literally like, what else is going to happen here? You know? But I wasn't ready for him to take me yet. And then in that moment, this is what I'm talking about, surrender. I truly surrendered. I embodied surrendering, and I gave myself over completely to God. I said, look, I'm not going to try and navigate and control my destiny and narrate my life anymore. I'm going to do as you want me to do. You put me where you want me. I promise you. If you keep me here, you put me where you want me, and I'll do the work. I'll do your work. And within a couple of days, I started getting better. As I mean, it was like this quick. I started getting better. I was on the mend. I was feeling better. I was feeling more confident. My body was starting to heal. I could start to walk around again pretty quickly too. And I was in such a great place. And my girlfriend was even in disbelief that all this was happening so quickly. I gave myself over to God. And now I live my life in alignment with why I was put here in the first place. This isn't about religion, this talk. This is truly about faith. Something bigger than yourself. And that's why I'm here speaking today. To the men who feel the exact same pressure in life, the same exhaustion, the same disconnection, and maybe even haven't said it out loud. I want to know you're still here. Drop a fire emoji in the comments. Let me know that you're hearing this. Let me know that this resonates with you. Look, guys, it was simple. I was burnt out, and that's why this happened. More men today are burning out silently and quicker than ever before. We're carrying more stress than any generation before us. We're protecting, we're providing, we're leading, we're holding it all together. We need to be more sensitive men for our partners, right? And while we're pretending to be fine, on the inside, our bodies are fried. Our guts are wrecked. Our hormones are in the gutter. Testosterone for men in their 30s and 40s has been lower than ever before. People have to take pills because they have erectile dysfunction today. At that age, that's not a common thing, but it's become common. It's because of our stress. Our energy is disappearing. Our joy is gone. Guys, this isn't weakness. This is overload. You're being overloaded. Your body and system is being overloaded. Your nervous system is being overloaded. And eventually the body's going to say, that's enough. And that's exactly what happened to me. And it's why I want to help other men like you catch it earlier, before the burnout, before the breakdown. I talked about the US having a staggering statistic of 79% of men dying every year from suicide. Well, in Canada, men account for every 3 out of 4 suicides, roughly 8 every single day. 3,000 deaths per year by men. In the UK, in England and Wales, men die by suicide at a rate 3 times more often than women. Nearly 12 men every single day lose their lives to suicide. 4,200 men annually. This is too staggering for me to even handle. Men, this is why it happens. Listen carefully. We're much less likely to get help for their mental health, to ask because it looks weak. Let me know down here, say, I'm not alone. Not alone in the comments. Not alone. Because when you're not alone, we're working together to make sure that you're not just another statistic. We're here for each other. We're supporting each other. Look, I spent years taking drugs, drinking, eating, sex, work, phone, all of it. Any other addictive behavior that you can possibly imagine and think of, so that I didn't have to deal with my issues. I was escaping, and I never asked for help, ever, because I knew at the time, looking back, I thought it was weakness. I was self-soothing through all those addictions. Self-soothing, guys. So again, type in there that you're not alone, because you're not. You're absolutely not alone, guys. Look, the three keys to reclaiming your life that I'm going to talk about right now. And they're simple keys, but they're truly important things to keep consistent in your life. They're the keys that saved my life. They're simple, they're practical, they're repeatable, and they transform your life, your body, your mind, your soul. But before I step into those three keys, I gotta I gotta ask that you do one thing for me. One thing for yourself, as a matter of fact, because it's gonna make these things stick. These keys will stick that much more if you bring this back into your life. You need to bring faith back into your life. This isn't a talk on religion again. This isn't about Christianity or Catholicism or any other religion. This is truly about faith and believing in something bigger than you, believing in God, Jesus, welcoming him back into your life. Why? Because he believes in you way more than you believe in yourself. And I found that out the hard way, laying there in my bed. So you bring him back into your life, and it's pure and it's simple and it's just faith, and it's a bigger understanding of the whole picture and why you're here. And I promise you these keys will stick. You'll start to see things play out on your life in such an amazing way. This key, number one, you got to fix your foundation, guys. Nutrition and movement. Okay? For 30 plus years, I lived in the bodybuilding and powerlifting world. I knew food was fuel. I knew about dedication and commitment. I did it for a long time. I didn't veer. I was certified and still am in nutrition as a nutrition coach, as a personal trainer, as an assisted stretch therapist. So I understand how incredibly important this is. But when the stress takes over, all of it goes out the window. I stopped listening to my body. I made terrible decisions. I ran myself into the ground, guys. So rebuilding myself meant that I had to do one thing. I had to go back to basics. That meant I had to start eating real food, hydration, which just doesn't mean like water, right? Vitamins and minerals. The nutrients are more important than anything else than what you're putting into your body. So making sure you have the right type of nutrients. Getting back into strength training, your cardio regimens, running, biking, hiking, weekly PT sessions, physical therapy for me, massages, coaching sessions with my mentors to keep my mindset in check. In tennis, I picked that up this past year, and it brought that competitive nature back into my life because I was missing that. I didn't have my fire, my passion anymore, but I found it again, and I'm driven again. So drop a fire emoji down in the comments here. Put a fire emoji and put faith, because if you're bringing faith back into your life, or if you already have faith in your life, and put a fire emoji in there if your body's been trying to get your attention in this way. Key number two, calm the inner war, guys. This is about your stress, your mindset, and your nervous system. So incredibly important because stress destroys men from the inside out. It is a high killer on the list. Okay? And during those months that I went through all that stuff, I stopped doing my practices that kept me grounded. The breath work, the meditation, the Reiki, the shamanic journeys, the cold plunges, the steam saunas, the saunas. All of that went out the window. I abandoned everything that I knew would help. And my body paid a huge price for it, for staying under chronic stress for such a long period of time. Now, the breath work is daily. The cold exposure is whenever I can. If I'm in the White Mountains, because I live in New England here, right? I'm jumping in a river. I don't care what time of year it is. My nervous system is the most important thing, and it comes first because that's what I need to protect first to make sure I'm there for myself and all the other people that are depending on me. Now let's do a quick practice here, okay? Let's slow things down. We're going to inhale for 4 seconds. We're going to hold the breath for 2 seconds. And we're going to exhale for 6 seconds. We're just going to repeat that 2 times. So let's inhale for 4, hold, and exhale through your mouth. Inhale for 4, hold, exhale. Just 2 times of that brings the nervous system right back down. I'm even feeling it right now, you know? It's amazing. So I want to know how that felt right now. Put in the comments how you felt after that. If you're still breathing that way, keep doing that because it's so incredibly important. Now, before I get to the third key, I want to preface something by saying that the first 2 keys above that have been listed are because they are tangible and can be felt within minutes to days of putting them into practice. The breath work can be felt immediately, right? You just felt that. The nutrition, if you put that in place within 2 to 3 days, your body's going to really love you for it. You're going to feel the difference there, the more energy, the less sluggishness, right? You're going to feel those things. But this third key for me is the most important. It should be for you as well. And it's going to keep keys 1 and 2 in track and on track if you commit to this one key. So, what is it? It's facing the weight that you've been carrying, the one that is the hardest for us, because we don't want to see the parts of ourselves that we don't like, right? It requires us to go into deep reflection, to be accountable to ourselves, that we may actually be the problem in our lives. Look, I had that experience that, you know, I was dating the same person just in a different body over and over, right? The first question came up, well, why am I doing that? The second question, boom, hit me like a ton of bricks. Well, what's the common denominator in all my relationships? Oh, whoa, it's me. So if I'm the common denominator, I'm part of the problem. Look, guys, I had an experience that completely changed my life forever. And when my cat died in my arms, it was the worst thing, more than most family deaths that I experienced. The parts of myself that I found inside that needed more healing. I thought I handled it. I cried for 2 straight weeks and then suddenly I stopped, as if I thought I was all good now and it was out of my system. I was dead wrong. I pushed myself through. I told myself I was fine. I wasn't. This was grief, years of guilt of not being the dad that I should have been to my son for a few years when I was in pain. Shame that I wasn't the man that I should have been by now. Pressure to provide, to protect, fear of people seeing through my BS. My body absorbed it all. My illness wasn't just physical, it was emotional, it was spiritual, it was unprocessed pain. I want to know you're still here. Put the fire emoji in there. Know that you're listening to me. You're not alone in this. That moment changed me for the better. I am more confident today, more aligned than ever before, more appreciative, and more grateful for the life that I have and the people in it. And I'm more grounded than I've ever been. I'm in line with the life that was meant for me, and I feel it. So you start doing the work by starting to ask questions. You start becoming aware of your patterns, your behaviors, and your life story. That's how it begins. These are the things that changed my life. My body started performing better. My mind was clear. My soul was full. And now I'm here in front of you to tell you the same thing. Guys, we don't need more ER visits, more medicine, more doctors. We don't need more labs and more tests. You don't need more silence. You need to do one thing and one thing only. You need to make a decision for yourself. One decision. You need to take ownership of your stress, your health, your body. Okay? You need your mind in check. You need your life in check. That's what we're taking ownership for before. Men, we need to come together. We need to support each other, be a shoulder for each other to lean on, be an ear for each other, offer a solution to help us dig out of the holes that we've dug for ourselves. Put an I'm ready in the comments to know that you're ready. Look, before I end this call, because we got about 2 minutes left here, I want to offer you something I wish someone gave me when I was drowning in stress, when I was exhausted, when I was scared and completely unheard. I'm offering a free 60-minute stress management call. Guys, it's not a sales pitch, it's not a webinar, it's not a script. It's you and me getting on a call, no pressure, just one-on-one, and I'm going to be teaching you techniques to immediately reduce stress, how to stop the burnout before it breaks down your body, how to regulate your nervous system, how to think and breathe like a grounded leader, guys. Steps to becoming the man that you were meant to be this whole time. The man, not just the man surviving life, but living it. So if you want this, I want you to put call in the comments or send me a private message. We're going to set it up for you. Again, no pressure. I just want to be here to support you because you're not meant to live exhausted. You're not meant to carry everything alone. And you're not meant to die with regret. You're meant to live. And I'm here to help you do it. Again, my name is Michael Licoli. I'm co-owner of Danvers Wellness Center by Soul Warrior. This is the work that's saving men's lives today. So let's help each other out, not be silent any longer. Check in on the men around you and make sure to keep faith in your life because that will drive everything. Thank you.